Leon County Research and Development Authority. Our mission is to work in affiliation with Florida State University, Florida A&M University, and Tallahassee Community College to promote scientific research and development activities and foster economic development and broaden the economic base of Leon County.
It is now time to begin the presentations, and our first presentation is Stadium Runner Bryant Joseph. Come on up and make your presentation. Good luck.
Hi, I'm Brian Joseph. On a typical day at FSU, there's over 50,000 people on campus. Whether it's a student studying in the library or someone working in an office, at some point during the day, they're all going to get hungry. So I want to show you what we're doing right now at FSU to fight hunger. Renegade Runner. That's the application of our technology at FSU right now, and we partnered with Seminole Dining to do that. So what we've developed technologically is a robust workflow, and it involves a customer-facing service. Customer pays right on their device. It's optimized for every platform, desktop, mobile. The order is routed to a restaurant location on campus where a ticket prints out, and then the driver receives an alert via text message where they go and pick up the order. And this is a space we've been working in for a couple years now. Our team is a group of innovators with a proven track record of success. Our CTO, Connor, has sold more than 100,000 units of apps he's created. We have JT Burnett and Kim Rivers, who are local business leaders in the community and have been involved in a dozen projects. And Vincent Hunt, who's one of the preeminent thought leaders in the community. And everyone's here because they recognize the same opportunity. And to look at that, we need to look at the size of the problem. There's over 5,000 institutions in the U.S. with meal plans. And a company called Blackboard does 75% of the back end for those. So these dollars are captive. They can only be used for in-store purchases. And that's our opportunity. Because we're working with Blackboard right now on their new API, and this is a sort of technical template that would allow our delivery platform to be able to take these meal plan dollars in a delivery application, and it's the only one on the market that can do that. The model is pretty simple. It's system as a service. You're talking about a percentage of the order subtotal plus a flat fee as a commission of sales. And of course, the tech is built to rapidly add new clients because that's important for scaling. And speaking of scaling, it brings its own challenges, sure. But we're partnered with a large provider, Aramark, the second largest in the world, who does everything from FSU to the Olympics. And they came to us because they said there's nothing on the market that does this. And we said, well, isn't there a lot on the market that does this? And it turns out there isn't. There's nothing that can build in the back-end integration with FlexBucks. There's nothing that they were looking for that met their labor needs, which are none, because they have their own labor. They don't need someone to come and do that for them. They're managing, they need a platform. And we're not powering delivery from off-campus locations on campus. This is for the food service provider, for their on-campus locations, delivering 2 locations on campus. So we did a proof of concept starting in January with relatively little marketing. We saw week-over-week growth, over 1,500 orders. And that was just to get things started. Now, like I said, Renegade Runner is an FSU brand. So of course our technology is what we carry forward. It could be applied to any schools, institutions, mascots. You know, we're not limited there. So we're here tonight because a critical piece in our suite of services is the driver. And right now it's just a text message alert, and we'd really like to flesh out that process. So we want to develop an app on the driver's phone that would allow for queuing and routing orders, a proprietary solution that would greatly increase efficiency, and this would of course make our suite of services offered to providers much more robust, and it would greatly increase the value we can propose. So we think that this has a real opportunity, and we have a real platform that's already doing great things. And with the help of this grant, it's a real tangible win for a company based in this community. And we think that that's something that's really worth standing up for. Thank you.
Brian, come on back. That's the hard part.
The real part.
Brian, I have a question. You had a little additional to the part where you said that you couldn't use meal plan dollars for delivery, but you can. I mean, was it a regulatory issue? Was it a technology issue? What was exactly the issue that you couldn't do that before?
So Blackboard controls the technology that is the virtual vault for meal plan dollars for 75% of the institutions in the U.S. You have to have permission, both technically and legally, from them to access that. They provided us with their API documentation, and API is a template for that. And we know we can integrate in quite literally 2 weeks. So what they want to see is a little more proof of concept, which this conversation began in January. We're now engaging further with them. And of course, with the support of a partner like Aramark, it becomes very easy to say, look, here's a model, it's replicatable. Now it's a simple matter of pouring fuel on the fire, because now you have buy-in from 2 large providers, and you can just duplicate this at 10 different institutions pretty easily. And of course, the institution is the logistics part in terms of the physical aspect of delivery. We're the tech provider.
Brian, 2 questions. Tell us a little bit about your personnel build-out, the people that are going to be required. And then secondly, take us all the way to exit. How do you monetize the enterprise?
For monetization, what you're talking about is, our margins, because our top line gross receipts are everything we're taking in. So in the case of a company like, say, Uber, you can be a multi-billion-dollar company because you're grossing in all of that. Cost of goods sold includes the cost of reimbursing the provider. But it becomes an efficiency thing. By just going to 5 institutions, you're already at break even, and that's with a staff of, say, 6 full-time programmers being paid competitive salaries. And that's because when you cost it out, the technology can scale and add. 5 institutions doesn't look a lot different than 10. There's a little bit of a leap between 1 and 5, but 5 and 10 is not a very big leap, and 10 and 20 is an even smaller leap in terms of the hard cost. So it's pretty low burn rate because it's a tech company.
Brian, you mentioned these other institutions, and I know that you were approached by Seminole Dining to solve their problem, and you partnered with Aramark. How far have you gotten in conversations with other universities? In other words, can you prove that this isn't just necessarily a local thing with relationship with Seminole Dining?
Well, what we were told by the director of operations at Seminole Dining, who was actually new, he just came from Alabama, was that they were looking for a solution like this, and they were left scratching his head, and that's actually where he got the idea. So he came here with that in mind, and of course, you have a few anecdotes like that, but what we saw was several people that have been at several different institutions that were very confident that this would be something that could apply to them. Primarily because the delivery market globally is exploding right now, and the fact is large providers their needs cannot be met by something like Uber. Even when Uber runs food, Uber Eats and things like that, they're on campus because they have the carts and things like that on campus, because they have that tight integration. There's no outsider that can provide that kind of efficiency that you can provide by working intrinsically with the provider.
I have a question. What has been the annual gross sales or year-to-date gross sales for services?
Top line gross is about 20,000 with relatively little marketing, and that's using the first 3 locations they gave us were their least profitable, least popular locations. Probably why? Because they wanted to test the waters, and then we added Chili's. And in 2 weeks, Chili's was grossing more than all the other locations combined. There's still locations on campus like Pollo Tropical, Einstein Brothers, Starbucks, Chick-fil-A, which we know are the big ticket items. So really, you're just waiting for the provider to pull the trigger on integrating those, because Starbucks and Chick-fil-A delivery, that's pretty much a business right there, if you can make that.
Brian, how are you going to get to Alabama and Auburn? How are you going to do that?
Well, the conversation really has to start with Aramark's district manager here, who we know, who he knows all of his associates, certainly around the state, really around the region. And as soon as you can show that replicatable model, which this was a good step in that direction, it becomes very easy to engage in a conversation that says this makes you money, and you have the labor built in, which essentially they do.
Thank you very much.